maintaining a free economy, and invoked racist images of welfare queens to delegitimize the movement to expand welfare rights. This political strategy has, for decades, been a useful way of tapping into the racial biases and stereotypes that are inextricably bound up with attitudes about crime, punishment, and poverty in the United States. In fact, racially charged rhetoric about crime and punishment and welfare was key to this effort to woo socially conservative white voters to the GOP. This use of such subliminal racial appeals and coded racial rhetoric remains a powerful means of tapping into racial resentments for electoral benefit, particularly among those in the electorate who were prioritized in the wake of partisan realignment. This strategy continues to be central to Republican Party operations. For example, despite broad popular support for deferred action for childhood arrivals and opposition to construction of a border wall, GOP candidates relied heavily on racially charged immigration-related rhetoric in the run-up to the 2018 midterm elections, in an attempt to secure the votes of electorally crucial and socially conservative white voters. Similarly, on the eve of the 2020 presidential election, the Trump campaign issued numerous calls for law and order in an attempt to capitalize on racial tensions and in a desperate bid to shift attention from his disastrous handling of the pandemic and its economic and social consequences. Unfortunately, this impoverished understanding of public safety has gained a strong toehold in our increasingly fragile and fractured democracy, to the point that justice is often presumed to be synonymous with tough punishment. Over the years, and particularly in the 1990s, many liberal lawmakers also came to support this tough crime talk and policy. The results of this political convergence are well known, and include the widespread adoption of policies that created the largest prison population the world has ever known. Spending on courts and corrections increased notably, and the number of people under the supervision of the criminal legal system increased more than fivefold, while the safety net became more porous. The United States has been the world's leading jailer for many years now. It is also characterized by extraordinarily high levels of poverty and inequality compared to other wealthy nations. The increased reach of the U.S. criminal legal system has been so profound and so consequential that researchers now treat penal institutions as a key mechanism by which social inequality is reproduced over time. But the problem is not only a matter of scale. At its core, mass incarceration reflects the tenuousness of our commitment to racial equity, to human rights, and to social justice. It is also testament to our reluctance to recognize the innumerable ways that violence has shaped our country, our people, and our way of doing justice. It is in this context that calls to reimagine public safety from Black Lives Matter activists have resounded across the country. Redefining public safety. The narrow understanding of public safety just described artificially separates public welfare, public health, and public safety. It also rests on the erroneous assumption that interpersonal violence is the preeminent threat to safety, and the only kind of threat to which governments are compelled to respond. Assault, robbery, and other violent crimes do undermine public health and well-being, and the risk of these types of violence remains unacceptably high in disadvantaged urban neighborhoods, despite recent drops in national crime rates. Sadly, current policies do little to reduce these kinds of harms. Moreover, other equally serious threats to safety, health, and well-being are also pervasive.